Thanks everyone for joining. Welcome to the Advanced Energy Rebuild Program Overview webinar. My name is Allison Whitwer and I work on the AER program team. I will be your main contact to learn how to qualify and apply for the AER program. Today we will go over the program for homeowners whose homes were affected by the 2017 and 2018 wildfires in Northern California and were red tagged by CAL FIRE. The 2020 program is available for 2019 Title 24 code site-built projects. That would mean that you applied for a building permit on or after January 1st, 2020, and the program is also available for manufactured homes. If you're listening in on this call and are rebuilding a site-built home and you applied for your building permit before 2020, your rebuild would be permitted under the 2016 Title 24 code, and you would then align with the previous program requirements. We are still accepting applications for people who are permitted under 2016 Title 24 code, and the deadline to apply with a complete application package is June 30th. We do have a recording of a program overview presentation for the previous program on our website, and that one would be more appropriate for you. If you haven't used GoToWebinar before, we have everyone muted except for myself. And I do have a couple members of our tech team on the line as well who can help answer questions at the end. In order to ask a question, you'll use the questions box that's on the GoToWebinar pop-up that you're seeing on the side. We will ask questions at the end, and we are recording this presentation and we'll post it to our website for you to reference at any time or share with anyone who might not have been able to attend today. Before I get started on the presentation, I wanted to launch a quick poll just to find out what our audience is mainly composed of today. So go ahead and select your answer. You can select if you're a homeowner, a builder or contractor, energy consultant or certified energy analyst, manufactured home retailer or factory representative, and then other. All right, looks like the responses are in. So we mainly have homeowners. I'll share the results so you can see them. Small percentage of builders, a lot of energy consultants, and then some others as well. So thank you everyone for joining today. All right, so back to the presentation. Up next, so this program is funded by utility customers in California, and it's administered by PG&E. My company, TRC, is contracted with PG&E to implement this program on their behalf. You will work directly with TRC throughout your participation in the program. So here's our agenda today. We will start by discussing why it's important to prioritize energy efficiency during the rebuild process and the benefits of doing so. I'll talk through the rebuild process timeline and when it's appropriate to engage with the program throughout that timeline. I will also provide an overview of the program and walk through the application and enrollment processes. In the program for 2020, we have incentives for both manufactured and site-built homes. A manufactured home is built in a factory and then installed on your rebuild site. A site-built home is built on site, and this includes modular homes. We'll go into more details on this later on in the presentation, and I just want to let all of you know that we want you to leave this webinar having a better understanding of what your options are for participating in this program. Please feel free to reach out to myself or anyone else on the program team with any questions following this webinar. So before we talk about the program, I just wanted to go over some general reasons why it's important to keep energy efficiency in mind while you design your new home. The next few slides applies to both site-built and manufactured homes. So we'll focus on your home's envelope a lot today, which consists of the roof, attic, windows, and walls, as shown by the red line around this image of a home. Your building envelope keeps the outside out and the inside in. It's difficult to upgrade the envelope after a home is built, so we recommend making the investment now and implementing the upgrades we will go over today while you design your home. Installing energy efficient appliances, such as heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, or HVAC, water heating, and proper windows and insulation will reduce your energy bills. These savings are over the life of your home and equipment, not just on a yearly basis. The cost to own a home goes down when your home's efficiency and durability go up. If you plan to be in this home for the long run, your long-term costs will go down through less needed maintenance and lower utility bills. If you're thinking of being in the home for the shorter term, you can look forward to improved comfort and higher resale value. The Advanced Energy Rebuild Program provides homeowners with an opportunity to take your rebuilt home beyond the minimum state or federal requirements. The incentives that are available should cover the majority, if not all, of the cost of the upgrades needed to get these incentives. So this image shows a house without proper insulation. In both winter and summer, you can see that the heat or air is escaping the home. Efficiently insulated homes keep the cool air inside during the summer months and the warm air inside during the winter months, which leads to a more comfortable home year-round. Energy-efficient homes have better air quality, as these buildings have a tighter envelope through air sealing and other weatherproofing techniques, which reduce the escape of air you have just spent money to heat or cool. Your home will be properly ventilated, so you and the home can breathe well. This also reduces instances of mold and mildew. Buildings designed with proper ventilation, insulation, and air sealing may be more resilient to fire, flood, and wind damage. The combination of comfort and safety, as well as affordability, lead to a better quality of life. So the lifespan of a home is typically between 50 to 100 years. Building envelope retrofits and upgrades aren't common during the life of a home. A retrofit is basically a remodel that includes upgrades that impact your energy use. The most ideal time to make efficient choices is during the design and construction process, so you don't have to go back and invest in costly retrofits down the road. This is your best opportunity to build an efficient envelope. So on this slide, you're seeing an example of a challenging retrofit to do post-construction. It's called adding a raised heel. This is where your roof is raised to install more insulation at the edge, reducing weak spots in the insulation. You couldn't do this retrofit without removing the entire roof, which won't be very cost effective. So that's why energy efficiency should be incorporated into your design from the start. Otherwise, these opportunities will be missed. And this example on this slide more so applies to site-built homes, but an example of a costly retrofit for a manufactured home would be to change your wall insulation. You could only do that by opening up the walls. So the time to make sure you're installing the most energy efficient features is now. And you'll reduce your carbon footprint. Buildings account for 39% of carbon dioxide emissions in the US, according to the EPA. Homes going through this program will produce less carbon than a typical home over the course of its lifetime. This is exponentially true for homes that are choosing an all-electric pathway, which we'll discuss later. A couple examples of this are through lighting and appliances. Energy-efficient lighting and appliances require less electricity, which reduces carbon emissions from fossil fuel plants. The material used to manufacture older models of lamps and light bulbs often includes components that are toxic to the environment. Okay, now let's talk about the rebuild process timelines. This information that I'm about to go over was gathered from various parties who have been involved in this process with homeowners. We have a timeline for manufactured homes and one for site-built homes. The way the timeline has been organized is an approximation of the order in which homeowners will go through these steps. The order can, of course, vary by property because there's not a set list you must follow, but this is just more of a general guideline. As I stated before, if you're listening in on this call and you're rebuilding a site-built home, but you applied for your permit before January 1st, 2020, your rebuild will align with the previous program requirements. We're still accepting applications, so please reach out to us as soon as possible so we can try and get you into the program before the deadline of June 30th. And that deadline is just for people under the 2016 Title 24 code. Okay, so to start, let's talk about 2019 code site-built constructions. For those in Butte County, the record of survey should be your first step. There might be a review backlog at the Butte County Public Works, so that's why we ask you to check on that first. What you would do is contact your building department with identifying information, such as your assessor's parcel number, street address, and the parcel map for your lot. Ask them if a record of survey is needed to process a building permit application. Many of the older lots in this area have boundary line errors and will likely require an updated or corrected survey. This is to ensure lot line accuracy and correct placement of structures. I won't go through steps 2 through 5 in detail because it's our understanding that most homes in this area have already gone through this process. So let's jump to step 6. You'll want to reach out to PG&E to reinstate your utility services at least 6 months before the service is needed. This is also an appropriate time to start planning to reinstate your cable or internet, water, and septic system, if applicable. If your foundation is still intact, you'll then conduct structural testing and evaluation. Most foundations failed from the heat of the fire and must be replaced. Professional evaluation is needed if you think that your foundation will be reusable. So at this point, you're ready to hire your project team. You'll see that there is a little orange star here, and that's because one member of your project team is pretty critical to the program. So we suggest starting with your architect, and once your plans are drawn, you, your architect, or your builder will hire your energy consultant. This is the one with the orange star right here. Your energy consultant should be a certified energy analyst, also known as a CEA. A certified energy analyst is a certification that your energy consultant must possess for you to participate in this program. It's kind of like having a licensed contractor. So the energy consultant is the person who will create your Title 24 documents, and those are submitted with your permit application to the building department. We also review those in the AER program to confirm your eligibility with this program. When you hire your architect, you'll want to tell them that you're planning to pursue this program or interested in it, and that your energy consultant will need to be a CEA. You'll also want to let them know that you will need to be a certain Delta EDR score above the Title 24 code, which we'll talk about in a little bit, so that they can integrate the proper energy efficiency capabilities into your plans. Your CEA will need to be aware of this as well, and next, you'll want to hire your contractor if you haven't already done so. They should also be fully aware of your intent to participate in this program so that they can be sure to build to your program eligible design. Sometimes homeowners will have a design that they first drew up and then they redesign their home to qualify for the program, but the builder may not know that it's super important that you build to that newer design because otherwise your home will not end up qualifying. And then the last person that you'll hire is the HERS rater. So they come to your rebuilt site a few times, and the first time will be after insulation is installed. All right, the next step is where your certified energy analyst will be more heavily involved. So they can help get your home to achieve a Delta EDR of 1.0 or higher so you qualify for the program. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. You have flexibility in your design, so you can choose which aspects of your home are more energy efficient than others. During this stage, the program team is happy to take a look at what you're planning for Title 24, and we can make recommendations to get your home into the program. This is the appropriate time to decide if you would like to take advantage of the higher all-electric incentive as well. We'll talk about that later as well. In order to qualify for the current program, your home must apply for permits on or after January 1st, 2020, but before November 15th, 2020. The energy code that this program for 2020 is based on went into effect on January 1st. As I've stated a few times, I just really want to make sure that the audience knows if you applied for your building permit before this year, you're under the former program and the 2016 code, and you'll want to apply as soon as possible. Okay. So you must apply for the program before you install drywall on your home. You can apply as soon as your Title 24 documents and architectural plans are complete. And you can move forward with construction while you submit your application with the program. Okay, on to manufactured homes. So the first few steps are similar to those for site-built homes. You'll want to start by coordinating with insurance. Then you'll secure your location if you're not already rebuilding on a property that you owned. So I didn't address this before, but this applies to both site-built homes and manufactured. If you owned a home that was red tagged by CAL FIRE, you can rebuild on another property and still qualify for this program as long as the property you are rebuilding on is in PG&E territory. And then again, you'll want to check if you need to have a record of survey done with your manufactured home property. And then step 4, if your foundation is still intact, you will then conduct structural testing and evaluation. Most foundations failed from the heat of the fire and must be replaced. And if so, you'll want to make sure you have professional evaluation if you want to try and reuse what's left. Okay, your next step will be to determine which incentives you want to take advantage of. You will at minimum need to have the ENERGY STAR certification. It's often offered as an upgrade or a package on your manufactured home order. Then there's some bonus options, and you'll want to take these into consideration as well. You can add the NEEM Plus certification to your home, which makes it even more energy efficient. If you're interested in an all-electric home, meaning you don't have any gas or propane fueling anything in the home, we also have other bonus options available for you, and we'll go through those details in a bit. Once you confirm if you would like to move forward with the program, you'll want to ensure you're working with a retailer or factory who is able to order an ENERGY STAR certified home. Not all factories offer this certification, and the program is based on a newer version of the certification, which all factories will be mandated to build to starting June 1st. So what that basically means is while most factories are building to the newer version that will go into effect on June 1st, some are not. So we'll want to make sure that yours is building to the newer requirements before you place your order so we can secure your incentives. Your next steps will be to purchase the home, secure your permits, and apply for PG&E and other utility services. Again, be sure to apply for PG&E service at least 6 months before service will be required. Then you will want to apply for the program. The AER application is online, and I'll walk through that in a bit. I just wanted to note that you must apply for the program before your home is installed on your property. If you're close to this point right now, please reach out to us as soon as possible. Next, your home will be built in the factory to the ENERGY STAR certification. It will be delivered to your property, and then any external equipment will be installed as well, such as a heat pump, induction cooktop, anything like that, battery storage. Utilities will be connected, you'll receive an occupancy permit from your planning official inspectors, and then you'll receive your ENERGY STAR certificate. Processes for receiving the certificate depend on your retailer and factory. So we suggest you talk to your retailer to learn more about when you'll receive the certificate and how you'll go about doing so. Once you have received your certificate and your final invoice from your retailer, you'll be ready to request your incentives from the program team. You'll fill out the one-page incentive request form that you receive when you enroll in the program, and then you'll send it over to us with copies of your final invoice and your certificate. So those were the timelines. Any questions on details in that section can be directed to me after this presentation, or feel free to type them in the questions box. So next we have the program overview. Through incentives and design assistance, the goal of this program is to encourage and help people rebuild energy efficient and sustainable homes. This program is offered through an enhancement of PG&E's California Advanced Homes program. You will work directly with TRC to apply for and enroll in the program, regardless of which county you're rebuilding in. And for the program requirements, only homes that were red tagged by CAL FIRE are eligible for this program from the 2017 and 2018 wildfires. The 2019 Title 24 standards took effect on January 1st of this year for site-built homes. So if you applied for your permit on or after this date, you'll be under the Title 24, the 2019 Title 24 code. Homes must receive service from PG&E, SCP, or MCE and be considered new construction to enroll. As I said before, you don't have to rebuild on the same site as your red tagged home to enroll in the program, but you will need to receive service from PG&E, SCP, or MCE at your rebuild site in order to apply. You can also purchase a red tagged property and rebuild there and receive the incentives. The deadline to submit a complete application package for this program is December 1st, 2020, if you're under 2019 Title 24 or purchasing a manufactured home. All energy consultants working on a project that enrolls in this program must hold a 2019 Residential Certified Energy Analyst certificate. Only site-built homes will work with an energy consultant or CEA. And the manufactured homes must be ordered through a factory that can build to Energy Star version 2 requirements. As I said before, version 2 will be mandated across all factories starting June 1st. So just until that time, we have to make sure that the factory you're ordering through is building to the new requirements. Some still build to version 1, so we'll just want to double check that for you. Okay, so as I've said, manufactured homes only need to meet the Energy Star certified requirements to qualify for this program. I have a screenshot here of the list that we've put together that shows retailers that are offering the Energy Star version 2 certification. This is a growing list, so if you hear of anyone else who's not on the list that you want us to look into or that you know is building to version 2, let us know. We'd be happy to dig into that and add them to this list. We want to make sure that there's a lot of options for homeowners who are rebuilding to choose from. So now I'm going to explain what the Delta EDR is and what EDR is in general. So you'll see this chart shows the efficiency EDR of a standard design, of proposed design, and then efficiency Delta EDR. We don't pay attention to final EDR proposed. Excuse me. And this is a more accurate way to measure a site-built home's energy efficiency. It's new to the 2019 code. This is done using the energy design rating. So it's a whole house efficiency metric that considers all aspects of your building, including insulation, heating, cooling, water heating, appliances, etc. The lower your EDR is, the better your building is performing. Now, the AER program judges projects based off of the Delta EDR. To calculate the Delta EDR, you take the efficiency EDR of proposed design, so this is what your home is proposing, and you subtract it from the standard design. Standard design is what the code is requiring for your home. When you subtract these values, you get the Delta EDR. You want the Delta EDR, so while you want the EDR to be high, the Delta EDR you'll want to be a lower number. And so to get into the program, you want a Delta EDR of 1.0 or higher. That's the minimum value that you want your Delta EDR score to read. So you can work with your CEA and your builder to develop your Title 24 files and target achieving that 1.0 Delta EDR score. And the program team is also here to provide recommendations if you're having trouble reaching that value. So please contact us for assistance. Okay, site-built or custom home requirements are a bit more detailed as you as the homeowner have more options to choose from as you design your new home. Before we get into the program requirements and incentives, let's start by going over some of the measures that you can take that will help bring your project into this program. We will go over all features of the program, which was designed to be flexible with what makes sense for you and your home. We have you work with a Certified Energy Analyst or CEA and a HERS rater so that they can help you figure out what pathway is right for you. There's a list of CEAs and HERS raters that are certified and are already familiar with this program located on our website. It's on the program requirements and incentives page. The CEA and HERS rater are required to work on your rebuild by the building department, so you're not hiring these people just to participate in the program. We just also utilize them when we take a look at your project and to help you get into this program. So as we went over previously, the building envelope is essentially the shell of a home. This is the best and possibly only opportunity to do this efficiently and cost effectively. You can upgrade your mechanical equipment, such as the water heater and HVAC system, during the life of your home, much easier than you can upgrade the envelope By having an upgraded envelope, you are able to downsize your HVAC system, which saves you on equipment and operating costs. High-performance attics have an additional layer of insulation on the underside of the roof deck, in addition to the ceiling insulation. By adding extra insulation at the roof, the attic temperature is reduced by 35 degrees or more during hot summer days. This temperature reduction lowers energy use needed for cooling in the summer and heating in the winter. High-performance windows provide a quieter home interior, reduce energy bills as houses lose less heat in the winter and absorb less in the summer, and the solar window coatings can block up to 98% of UV rays. So your flooring, curtains, and furniture will be less faded by the sun. These also add curb appeal to your home and increase your potential resale value, even to someone who doesn't know much about energy efficiency. High-performance walls have exactly the right amount of framing, meaning there is room for the right amount of insulation, which increases the performance of your home. Standardly constructed homes may use excessive amounts of wood in the walls and aren't able to put in the necessary amount of insulation to properly insulate your home. A home with high-performance walls has increased insulation installed, and then the HVAC system does not have to run as much because you're not losing or gaining as much heat through the exterior. Quality insulation installation, also known as QII, is new to the 2019 code. If you don't have QII performed on your rebuild, you will now receive an energy compliance penalty. This means that your EDR will be negatively impacted. QII is where your HERS rater will inspect your insulation installation to ensure quality. Construction workers often do not pay proper attention to the quality of insulation installed, nor do code inspectors check for the quality of insulation. Participating with QII means that you will get the best attributed value to the insulation that has been installed in your home, as opposed to the assumed inefficiencies for homes that do not do QII. So imagine if you had the greatest blanket in the world, but it wasn't allowed to touch your skin. That is what happens to buildings that do not have high quality insulation and QII. Air sealing ensures that your home is tight where it needs to be tight. The attic, garage, crawl spaces, and areas where the wind can blow in. It also makes your insulation work better. Imagine wearing a sweater outside on a windy day, and now imagine putting a windbreaker over your sweater. The combined effect of the air sealing and the insulation give you a better result during a wide variety of weather conditions. Just like with insulation, quality air sealing can reduce the size of your HVAC system, improving your comfort and saving you money. Okay, up next, unventilated sealed attics. This changes where your insulation and air sealing will go. The image on the left shows a ventilated attic, and this allows air to flow through your attic, and the HVAC equipment is more exposed to hot or cold temperatures from outside your home. The image on the right shows an attic that is unventilated, so the HVAC equipment is less exposed to outdoor temperatures. This also helps with pest prevention. One of the primary ways for embers and smoke to enter your home during a wildfire is through the vents in the attic. You can install fire-rated roof tiles, doors, and stucco, but an ember can still blow into one of the attic vents and catch your home on fire from the inside. With a fully sealed attic, there are no vents or openings into the attic for those embers or smoke to enter. Basically, if your windows and doors are closed and you have an unventilated attic, you are as protected as possible from smoke and flame entry. All right, next let's talk about mechanical systems. High efficiency systems are designed to deliver more comfort and control, improved indoor air quality, and are quieter to operate. This equipment uses less energy, which saves money on utility bills. If you already have a highly efficient envelope, the need for heating and cooling will be significantly reduced. So the size of your HVAC equipment needed will be less than if the envelope of your home was not high performing. Heating, excuse me, heating water is typically the second largest energy use in the home. High-efficiency water heaters use up to 60% less energy than standard models, saving homeowners money on utility bills. So these images from left to right show a tankless water heater right here, a heat pump water heater in the middle, and then a hot water tank on the right. Balanced fresh air systems are great for the air quality in a home. With a home that is highly energy efficient, a ventilation system, such as a heat recovery ventilator, is needed to maintain fresh airflow, humidity, and odor control. There is potential to save a lot of energy on heating and cooling with heat recovery, which captures some of the air that you've paid to heat or cool that is being ventilated out, and it heats or cools the fresh air coming in. So essentially, heat recovery ensures that the new air coming into your home is a similar temperature to what is already in your home. So in the winter, it's not as cold, and in the summer, it's not as hot. Okay, induction cooking. So this program recommends induction cooking as it is the most efficient stovetop option on the market. A few reasons why are that they are safe. Induction cooktops are safer than traditional electric resistance or gas stovetops because they are cool to the touch at all times. The heat is transferred directly into the pan instead of radiating off of the electric coil or coming from a flame. Induction cooktops do not produce heat unless there is cookware on the surface. And many also come with an auto off setting that turns the stove off when you remove your cookware. So you wouldn't have to worry about whether you left the stove on or not. You don't have to wait for the surface to cool before you can wipe down the stove because the cooktop never radiates heat. So you can take the pan off, immediately put your hand where it was. It will not be hot. You can see in this image that there's this pan cut in half and the chocolate is melted in the pan, and then the chocolate that is not in the pan is still solid. Another bonus to this is that because the cooktop does not radiate heat, it will keep the atmosphere in your kitchen cooler. So in the summer months, you'll probably be pretty thankful of that when it's really hot outside and you want to be able to cook and not heat up your kitchen. You'll have more control. So there's an instantaneous change in temperature, which provides more control over the temperature than gas or electric resistant stovetops. These stoves are more efficient to operate. There's 38 to 40% of heat being produced on a gas stovetop that actually goes into cooking. So the rest of that heat is being lost. It's not going into cooking the food. With induction cooktops, your food is using over 90% of the heat produced. You can boil a gallon of water in half the time of a gas or electric resistant stovetop on induction. Sonoma Clean Power has a program that allows homeowners to check out an induction cooktop. So if you're in their service territory, please reach out to them and see if you can test one if you're interested. And I'll also send the slide deck out when we're done with the presentation, and you can click on the link in here if you'd like as well. Okay, now let's talk about the program pathways and the incentives. Site-built homes have a different base incentive, whether there is natural gas or propane being installed, or if the home is all electric. Manufactured homes have the same base incentive, but there are additional bonus options for all electric homes. So the incentives are always going to be higher if you have no gas or propane. Okay, so site-built homes that have natural gas or propane can achieve $2,500 of incentives per home. And to do so, you just have to have a minimum Delta EDR score of 1.0 or higher. All electric site-built homes can earn $12,500 of incentives per home. To be all electric, you can't have any gas or propane in the house, and that includes fireplaces. And again, you just have to achieve a Delta EDR of 1.0 or higher. There's a bonus available for site-built homes, and that is for battery storage. So if you have a 7.5 kWh battery storage system, you can get $1,000 of bonus incentives on your home. This bonus incentive is not available on its own. It can only be paired with a base incentive. So you have to meet the other requirements to get into the program in order to take advantage of the battery storage bonus. Okay, so as I said, manufactured homes, whether they have gas or propane or are all electric, have $3,000 of incentives. And to qualify for those, you have to have that Energy Star version 2 certification. And here it just restates, this is all electric, 3,000, no gas or propane, including fireplaces. The bonuses are a bit different for manufactured homes. There's one for getting the NEEM Plus certification. It's an additional $1,000, and this certification makes your home more efficient than if you only had the Energy Star certification. So you can talk to a retailer to see if the certification is right for you. Our list of retailers and factories on our website also includes a column for whether the factory and retailer can offer NEEM Plus certification. Our resources page on the website also has information on this certification as well. If you choose to add solar to your manufactured home, we have the bonus for battery storage available here as well. Like site-built homes, the capacity has to be at least 7.5 kWh, and then you'll get that $1,000. Okay, so here is how an all-electric manufactured home can earn more incentives than one that has gas or propane. The heat pump bonuses are there because these provide exceptional efficiency and they can also enhance your indoor air quality. So if you have a heat pump water heater, you can get an extra $1,000 per home. If you have a heat pump space heater, you can get an additional $500 per home. And then we do have an induction cooktop bonus for manufactured homes of $500. This program also offers incentives for accessory dwelling units. These are also known as casitas or granny flats. If you have one of these, we can enroll it in the program and it will receive 50% of the total available incentive. So your main house would get the full incentive and then your ADU or back house would get half of that. So you get 1.5 times the incentives. Okay, the application and enrollment processes. So here's a high-level overview. For site-built homes, in order to participate in the program, your energy consultant must be a certified energy analyst. I would like to mention here that if you are at a point in your site-built home design and construction where you've already applied for your permit and you didn't know about this program, but you're still interested, we can help you make changes so that you still qualify. You'd have to be able to make changes to things like insulation, windows, mechanical equipment, because those are the recommendations we can typically provide. So if you've already ordered that equipment, it will be harder for you to make changes. But if you're still, working on foundation or framing, there's a chance we can still help you. So please reach out to us. Your certified energy analyst or energy consultant can also help you determine if the program is feasible. And by reaching out to us to see if it's an option for you, you're not committed to enrolling in the program. We're here to help. We want to see what we can do to get you into this program. So once you find this person, you'll have them complete your energy model. That's what we use to verify that your rebuild will qualify for this program. Then you're ready to submit your program application. For manufactured homes, you'll want to be sure that the retailer you're working with orders units from a factory that builds to the program requirements. And you can use that list that we have on our website to find out if your retailer is offering eligible units. Then you'll want to order your home with the Energy Star Certified Upgrade or package included, and then you can submit your application. Okay, so now I want to show you the website. So let me pull this over here. Okay, looks like you can see it. So this is the home page of the website. So once you go to it's cap-pg.com, and then once you click on this, it'll take you to Advanced Energy Rebuild. This is the overview page. So on here, there's the link to get to the applications. You can sign up for program news. Here's some case studies. So these are examples of homes that have already gone through the program and what they did to qualify. And then there's also this contact form. So if you want us to reach out to you, you can fill this out. So then there is the How to Participate page. I had it already opened here, but all you do is hover over this, and then you'd click on this link, and it would take you here. So this kind of tells you which application is right for you. So the first one that's on this list is for the 2016 Title 24 code. These are people who applied for a building permit on or before 12/31/2019. The one that most of you who are on this call who have a site-built home will use is this 2019 Title 24 code application. And then also I encourage you to read this blurb above here. It's only information that is super pertinent that you know before you apply. The same goes for manufactured homes. We have a list of what other documents are needed, which I'll also go through during this presentation. And then the manufactured home application is right here at the bottom. The program requirements and incentives page has an overview of the requirements. You can get to the handbooks here. People on this call that qualify under the current program will look at this 2020 program handbook. People who permitted before this year will want to look at the 2019 handbook. And then here's the list of certified energy analysts. So you can click on this link to view that, and it's updated monthly. And then here's the overview of the incentive. So here's that graphic that I showed you a few slides ago. And then here's the different requirements, which we've already looked at as well, and what the incentive amounts are. And then we also have this resources page. So this is super helpful. A lot of the resources that I've gone over today are linked here. The construction timeline, here's the link to that CEA and HERS rater list again. We do have financial assistance available for this certified energy analyst fees for low-income qualified homeowners. And this is who you will reach out to see if you are eligible for this. So this is located on the resources page. All of the links to the application just take you back to this how to participate page so that you can ensure you're clicking on the right application. Resources for manufactured homes are here. So here's where our list of retailers and factories lives. I'll have the link to this webinar recording here instead of the link to register. There's a lot on here, so please take a moment to look through this if you feel like anything's overwhelming and you want to just do a little digging on your own. Everything's laid out pretty clearly here. Just make sure you're looking at the right header that applies to your rebuild. Okay, so I also wanted to quickly walk through the applications for you guys. So I'll start with the site-built home one. As soon as you click it, you'll get this pop-up that asks you if you're applying as a homeowner or developer. You will most likely be clicking on homeowner because you are the one who's rebuilding and you're the one who will receive the incentives. So the first section is how we know how to pay you. So we collect your information up here, your contact info. The first address that we collect from you is what should be your valid mailing address when you're done with construction. And then you put in your project information. Your project name can just be your last name and then the word residence. So for me, it would be Whitwer Residence because Whitwer is my last name. Here's your project address. You'll want to make sure you're putting in the address that you're rebuilding at here if it's different from your mailing address. You'll select your county. You'll select your providers. So if you're all electric, you'll select none, or if you have propane, you'll also select none. And then your electricity provider, you select here. If you have propane, this is where you'll select yes. And if you're all electric, you'll select yes or no here. Enter your actual or estimated permit date. This is how we can tell if you're applying under the right application. So if you applied on or after January 1st, make sure that you just put the date that you apply. We need a good estimate of when you're going to complete construction to the best of your knowledge. The program does require that you must complete construction by December of 2021 to receive the incentives. So when you're site built, you also have a HERS provider. Your energy consultant can help you with this. It's one of two options, CalCerts or CalEnergy. If you're not sure, leave it blank and I'll be able to tell when I process your application. You'll select your housing type, and then yours will be a custom home, or if you have a duplex, then you can select that. Enter your contractor's information, your energy consultant's information, And then HERS consultant isn't required at this time because they do come on later in your project, but if you know it, please enter it. If you don't know it, you can leave this blank. It's not required to be filled in. Then you'll select your program pathway. So it's either the all-electric home or advanced energy home. This is when you have gas. And if you have battery storage, you'll select that here, or you can leave it on no battery. These values will just be one. If you have one house, you have one plan type and one lot. And then if you have an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit, you'll select yes here. You'll select if it's all electric or has gas, and if it also has a separate battery storage and solar system. If you have an accessory dwelling unit and it's sharing the battery storage and the solar system from your main house, we don't consider that to be separate, so you would want to say no here. If you're not sure what to do, just let me know and I can help you. If you enter the wrong value here, I can always change it on our end when you're done. So try not to stress too much on the application. None of this is permanent. I can always change anything that's incorrectly entered. Then you'll enter your name. You'll click that you agree to the terms and conditions and click next. And then you'll be taken to our document uploader page, and I'll talk through the documents in a little bit. I'll quickly go through manufactured home application. A lot of this is the same. If you're a park owner, you would select developer here because you're representing multiple enrollments, but most of you will be individual homeowner. So enter your payee information, contact info, mailing address. Again, put your last name and then residence, and then your rebuild address, county, providers of utilities, and then you select your pathway. There's only one way to enroll for manufactured homes, so either you know that you're Energy Star certified or you're not sure. You can select either one of these. You'll select whether you have battery storage or not. Also, I'd like to say, if you're not sure if you're going to do battery storage and solar yet, just say no. We can add that to your project later on. You can enroll in the program without that bonus. If you decide to move forward with it, then we can add it later. If you know you're going to have battery storage and solar, but you're not at the point where you're working to order it or get a contract going, just say no and then let us know when you're ready, because what we need to reserve that incentive is an official contract or invoice or something to show that you will have this, you will qualify for this bonus. We can't reserve the incentive without proof of intent. You'll select if you have propane or if you're all electric. This is where you'll select if you have that NEEM Plus bonus. If you're not sure, you can say no and then I can change it later. You'll select the size of your home. You'll select if you own the land and the home, or lease the land, own the home, or other. Permitting agency is just where you're applying for your permits. You'll enter your retailer's information and then you'll sign. Okay, and then back to this. Okay, so we've gone through the website. Here was a link to the application fields, which we've gone over. So I just want to make sure I have time to get through an explanation of the documents we need. So while we need an application for your rebuild, we also need documents to prove that you are eligible for this program. For site-built homes, those documents include energy models, energy model compliance reports, also known as energy calcs or CF1Rs. We need your complete set of construction plans, an IRS W-9 form, which you can easily download by just Googling W-9 form. I can also send you a link. We need a PG&E bill, so a current or former bill from your rebuild site if it's something you have access to. If not, just let me know and I can let you know how we can meet that requirement. And then we need access to your project in the HERS registry. So that's something that your energy consultant will set up for you. So here's just a little screenshot of what these files are. So here's an energy model. You won't be able to open this unless you have the software, which is fine. You don't really need to go in there. It's just something that we need to be able to access and that your energy consultant will ultimately create for you. Here is the compliance report, energy calc, CF1R. It has a few different names. This is a PDF file. You will be able to look at this. Here's an example of a page of construction plans. Here's a W-9 form. We need to make sure that you sign it. So while some of these fields are fillable online, ultimately you do have to print it and sign it and add a date. If you don't have a scanner, you can just take a picture of it and email it to me. That's fine. And the most secure way to submit this is through the application. So once you get past that page I showed you and you click next, after a few minutes, you'll be taken to a document uploader page. That's where you can automatically upload files into our system, so you won't have to send them via email. We do accept the files via email later. None of these files are required to be uploaded with your application, but it's more preferable that you do so. So I just wanted to mention that as well. And here's a copy of a PG&E bill, or an example of one. So it just needs to have your rebuild address on there. And manufactured home application documents are an electronic copy of your order form. So here's kind of an example, and I highlighted where it shows that this one has Energy Star. This is a W-9 and another PG&E bill. Okay, so here's a high-level overview of the enrollment process. So once you apply and you submit all those documents, whether it's through the application uploader online or directly to me via email, your application package will be complete. I'd also like to note, we're hearing that sometimes the uploader form online will time out after 30 minutes. So if you're not ready to submit those documents, just go ahead and send them to me via email. It's obviously preferred that you're ready to roll when you have your application up. But if you have to chase down the documents after you submit the first page, I would just recommend emailing them to me. You could just upload the W-9 if you want to. That's fine as well. So then once your application's complete, you go to our review team. This is where we take a deeper dive into your files and confirm eligibility, and then we reserve your incentives. This is when you're officially in the program. You'll receive an acceptance package via email that will contain your official program enrollment documents and also your incentive request form. That is what you'll use when you're done with construction or your manufactured home has been installed on your property and you're ready to get your money. This is mainly for site-built homes, but if any changes have happened since you enrolled in the program, you'll need to submit that information to us because we need to confirm you're still eligible. If you don't tell us and there were changes, we will find out when you submit for your incentive request, so it's better to just do that before you request your incentive because it will ultimately delay you getting payment if we have to find out and then ask you to do the steps involved in that. And that is the presentation. So thanks for listening. Thanks for staying on the line. Here is our email for general questions. I do monitor this account. And here's my direct email. So now let's open up the line for questions that have come in.
Thanks, Allison.
Yeah,
we do have.
I can introduce you. Pearl's the project manager for the program, and she was on the line to help me answer your questions.
Thanks a lot. We received some really good feedback. Thanks for the presentation, and we do have some questions in as well. So I'll read out some of the questions, and also I can take the response as well. So we had an energy consultant reach out to ask about the CEA exams for 2019 that have been delayed. They want to know if the program will still accept 2016 code CEAs until they are available to be taken. And yes, we are aware that CEA prep workshops and exams for 2019 standards have been delayed. So as a result, we are accepting 2016 standard CEA sign-offs on the documentation through the end of this year. Another one was a homeowner wanted to know their building to comply with the 2019 code standards. The homeowner asked if we could explain how Delta EDR relates with the energy efficiency of their home. So there are two EDRs that are important to calculate the delta EDR, the standard efficiency and the proposed efficiency EDRs. The greater the difference between the two, the higher your delta EDR would be. And a higher delta EDR directly relates with a more efficient home. So thank you for that question. And yes, we are discussing the efficiency EDR and not the final EDR, not the total EDR, because that total includes solar and battery, which we do not include to discuss eligibility of projects. All right, moving on to the next one. Is there a construction completion deadline for the program? The answer to which is yes. The deadline to request all incentives is December 1st of 2021. This means that the construction and HERS registry should be complete by the time for all site-built homes, and your manufactured homes should be installed by this date as well. Moving on to the next one, we have another question from a homeowner. I am rebuilding a site-built home. Why do I have to apply for my permit by November 15th, 2020 in order to be eligible for this program? The deadline to apply for the program is December 1st. So if you do apply for your permit by November 15, we understand that you will have 2 weeks to collect and submit all of the documentation that we need to reserve your incentives. The program is currently just available for enrollments through the end of this year. And then just one final question as of now. What is the deadline to apply for the program for manufactured homes? As I mentioned, the deadline is the same as site-built homes, which is December 1st of this year of 2020. You should have your program eligible manufactured home ordered by November 15th to give you enough time to submit the documentation and submit the application to us for review. And those are all the questions I am seeing right now. There are some homeowner-specific questions that we will be responding to through the questions chat box. And we will be sure to follow up with other participants who have sent us some questions, and feel free to send us more. The email listed on your screen right now is monitored by Allison, so she should be able to respond or direct your questions to the right person on the team.
Yep, thanks for talking through the questions, Parul. We are right at time, so we did a good job there. A really brief survey will pop up with 3 questions if anyone wants to stay on and answer those. And thanks again for attending. We hope to hear from you soon.